Hello, everybody. So we just did a little round robin and we've all gotten to know each other a little bit. And I'm going to now start the presentation. At the same time, it's more of a chat because I'm making myself available to answer questions for the first time one-to-one. And we have a lovely group of people mixed, men, we have women, we have all different ages, and it's really, really nice to have all of you here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up my notes because I received a download and it was about 3 days ago now. And I was told very clearly what's ahead and what we need to do. And it was explained to me why some people are not on the way towards peace and happiness and why some are. And so I'm going to keep referring to my phone just for a minute. But the simple way of explaining it is that there is a walk to peace. So if you could imagine that there is a gated city, like a walled city, and imagine it's at the other end of the desert. And this walled city, it has a big wall all the way around it. And inside is where peace, clarity, happiness, joy, serenity, all those good emotions, they live in this castle. And so this castle, there is a golden path that leads out of the castle, and it goes all the way through the desert to where we are here now on Earth. And so what happens is if you decide to get on the path and you walk the path, you will reach the destination of peace, happiness, clarity, and joy. The problem is this path has many, many things trying to pull you off it, okay? And so what I've been shown is in quite a lot of detail. And I'd like to say as well, this class is going to be an advanced class. So I'll do another class that's more for beginners. I'm going to take it that you guys are advanced because that way we can go all in on this, okay? So this path, picture it like this golden path. Now, everybody is here looking at the beginning of the path and they're talking about getting on the path. They're talking about reaching the destination. They want to reach this city. They want to reach this peaceful place. The problem is a lot of people just want to be teleported there. They're not prepared to actually make the journey. They want to be teleported, so they stay here on this piece of grass. Imagine there's some grass at the edge of the desert, and everyone just sits there and talks, but they don't do anything. They just talk. And so what happens is when you decide to get on this path, it's a very brave decision. And you have to understand that not everybody that's down here on the planet right now is going to make it on the path. So you mustn't spend too much time worrying about whether other people are going on the path. Because the reality is if you get to the city and you become one of these city dwellers, you can come in and out and go and get people all the time. But you yourself have to live there first. And you see, people sometimes say, oh, well, I don't want happiness. I want peace. I want these different things. Oh, I want clarity. They're all the same because they're all in this city. And you can walk from serenity to calm to happy to joy and over to peace. They're all in the same area. So don't let your mind make you feel like, oh, well, I'm not sure if this is what I want. What you want is high frequency, and high frequency is what you find in this city. The thing is again, most of humanity is sitting on the grass talking about it. You can make a decision, and it's a decision just for you. No one else is going to encourage you to do it because nobody else is probably going to be brave enough to do it. But you can make the decision now to say, I am going to walk on that path. So I'm going to look at my notes because I received this as a huge download. But what it says here is people just want to be teleported to the destination. They are not prepared to take the walk. Here's the thing. The walk is uncomfortable. The walk is challenging. The walk can be a bit scary, but it's also exhilarating, freeing, and exciting. The walk takes courage. The walk involves embracing change. The walk involves honesty with self. The walk requires self-love. And you see, this is key. And I'll explain why in a moment. But you see, you do not have to do the walk alone. Because again, the people that are the city dwellers, like myself, we come in and out, and we can help walk with you. But the walk is still your choice. And so you can have a guide or company through this process, and who will maybe be able to help encourage you along the path. But the reality is, it's still you that has to make the decision. Now, I'm seeing what else, because I have so much written down here. So what I want you to understand is there's something that happens. The second you get on the path, literally all of your doubts, all of your worries, all your things will come up. Because here's the thing, when you're on the path to true inner peace, you are about to unlock all your gifts and you're about to have a direct connection with God, which makes you very dangerous to the darkness. So in which case, when you get on the path, the dark is aware of it. The dark says, oh, Sally's on the path. Let's knock her off. What wounds can we use in Sally to knock her off the path? Maybe we can have financial worries. Maybe we can have, not feeling good enough. What if I'm going to fail? What if I get invited into a community and I don't fit in? There are all these things that your ego is going to start bringing up to try and make you come off the path. You see, because there's nothing holding you on the path, just your heart and your desire to get to the destination. And people almost want to be like tied to a rope to it or something, but it doesn't work like that. As you all know, I say, we have free will to fuck up, and free will to fuck up means you can walk off the path at any time, and you can even walk backwards. You can turn around and go back. So this is the part where everyone has to take responsibility for their journey on the path. And so this is really, really important, because I want you to picture what I was shown is, imagine this again, this beautiful, narrow, golden path leading to the city. And the city's quite far away. And as you're walking along this path, you have to get rid of your childhood trauma. You have to get rid of the lies you've been telling yourself. You have to get rid of the toxic friendships that are holding you back. You have to clear your environment. You have to clear your body. You have to do all these things. And this is why most people don't want to do it. I told you it's a bit of a challenge. But once you get there, then you'll be fully activated and able to do what you came down here to do. Because I want you guys to know there are two types of people on earth. And it really is true, like what they say in Harry Potter. There are the magic ones and the muggles. And I'm here for the magic ones, okay? And so you will know if you're a magic one, because you will have this strong desire in your heart to help others. It's just there. You might not even be doing it yet. You might be beating yourself up because you're not doing it yet. But you just know you're meant to be doing it. If you are someone who just knows you're here to help, you are one of the earth angels, okay? And so when an earth angel arrives in the city, now, again, you can imagine all of your gifts get activated. You have the direct connection with God. And so this is why it's so important that you guys walk this path and that you shed everything that no longer serves you. And I mean everything, so that you can do what you came down here to do. Because all of the people who have done the work, you automatically go into divine purpose. You can't not. So this is really, really important, okay, guys? So the next thing I want to explain is there's two things. And then I'm going to do some questions, okay? No, actually, my angel said, let's do a question first. Who has a question? Anyone have a question so far? If you have, raise your hand and hopefully I'll be able to see it. If anyone has a question so far. Stan, yes. And remember, you can raise your hand in the app as well. In this thing, it will show you how to. But I saw you raising your hand then, so that's great. Stan, so what's your question?
The magic ones and the other one that you were talking about.
Yeah, the muggles, the ones that are not magic. So you know, in Harry Potter, they have the wizards and then they have the regular people that can't do the magic. Have you seen Harry Potter?
Not very much.
Okay, that's why it's not resonating, because you hadn't seen it. But it's basically, there's magic people and there's people that are not magic, and it's an easy way for me to describe it, because if your heart wants to help others, then you are one of the magic ones that came down here to help. And so it's really, really important that you guys do the inner work, because you came down here to help. If a muggle doesn't do the work, it's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. You guys, it's important, okay? So very simply, you know that you're an earth angel if you have a strong feeling in your heart that you're here to help others. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Any other questions, guys? I'm just looking to see if I can see if there's anyone else that has a question. Okay. I don't see anyone else just yet. Okay. So here comes the next bit. So for anyone that's missed, I'm just doing a synopsis. So there is a destination that everybody, I just need to make sure I've muted you again, Stan, so it doesn't have any noise your end. That's it. So the thing is, guys, there is a destination that we all want to get to, and it's a place of permanent high frequency, whether that's peace, calm, serenity, whether that's joy, whether it's, you know, lightning intuition, all of the things that come with being very, very high frequency. Everybody that has the strong desire to help and to help on this earth, it's really important that you clear all your baggage so that you can reach this destination. And then when you're at that destination, not only is it fun to be there, it will activate your ability to then help others, which is why we're all down here. And this is why it's important, you see. One of you guys not activated is a problem, because you have so much to offer, okay? Now, I am going to say something, and I don't want anyone to be scared by this, because like I said, this is the advanced class, but I want you to know that all of the earth angels, there's almost a bounty for all of you, okay? And what that means is you're gifted, okay? So the dark really would love to have control over you. So what that means is you might have a harder time at times in life than other people around you. But that's because the dark's not so interested in the muggles, the ones that, does that make sense, guys? So it's like, you need to understand that you are of a high value, and it's because you came down here with a purpose and a mission. And so let me explain some of the ways that the dark takes you off mission. So for example, let's say somebody has come in and they have booked a discovery call with myself or with Alicia, and they have agreed that they want to do the program. Now, that moment, the moment I get off the phone from them, there's something called the wait starts. And this is the name that my angels have given me, the wait. And so the wait is a period of time from when they agree to do the program until they start their first lesson. And during the wait, it's just like you stepping on the path. And so suddenly all of the doubts and the worries and the anxieties and the what if I'm not good enough, or what if I shouldn't have spent this on myself, or what all the what ifs, you know, they come in really like thick and fast. Because what happens is the ego knows its time is running out. The ego knows that it's going to get anesthetized in the next few weeks. And so it has a final fight. You see, the ego is a self-protective mechanism. It will try and protect itself. So anyone who has done this, who already knows, if you have either booked a call and then run away, sorry, something's in my throat, 1 second. Simon Parks says, when this happens to me, it's attack on my throat. And the answer is chocolate. But I'm going to try and avoid the chocolate just for a minute. But yes, what happens is, as soon as you make the decision to get on the path, there's many things that will try and throw you off. What I need you to do is not be like the muggles. I need you to not be like the muggles and say, 1 second, Stan, 1 second. Sorry, is it urgent? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Okay, Stan, can you unmute? Oh, there you are.
Do you have honey?
Oh, don't worry, I have honey in the tea, so don't worry. No, that's
Oh.
fine. Thank you, Stan.
Take a tablespoon of honey.
Thank you. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Oh, I see my friend Lamore's just come in and she's wearing red like me today. We're matching. Okay, so to carry on what I was saying is that basically what happens is as we move through into this level of healing, when you step onto the path, when you are someone who's making that decision that you are going to clear everything that's holding you back. You are going to clear everything that's holding you back from God, clearing everything that's stopping you from being the divine creature that you came down here to be. Whether that's generational stuff, whether that's things that you've got from your parents, things from your childhood, self-talk that doesn't work anymore for you, self-talk that keeps you boxed in and keeps you small. These are all things that you have to be prepared to let go of to walk the path. And so you will see after this lesson, you will be looking outside and you will see some people on the path and you'll see some people not on the path, and you'll see people sitting on the grass talking about the path, but they're not actually doing anything because they're waiting for some kind of teleportation device to bring them to the city. And as I'm already saying, the teleportation device doesn't exist. You have to walk the path. The only way is to walk the path. So what happens, like I said, is people will come in and they'll say, right, I'm going to book my call. And then they even speak to myself or Alicia and they're like, right, we're going to do this. I'm doing the program. And then all of this anxiety and stuff comes at them and they don't realize that it's literally like dark energy pulling them off the path, because the dark's like, oh no, this one's powerful. This one's powerful. We can't have this one get to the city. Oh, no. We can't have this person get to the destination of peace and happiness and joy permanently to the extent where they're affecting other people and helping other people heal. Oh, no, we're not going to let this happen. And so what happens is there's a real pull on you. And your job is not just to decide that you want to get to the city, but it's going to be that you're able to endure the path and the journey. Do you see what I'm saying? And then from when you make the decision that you're going to do the work until you start the work, you have to be able to stay in a space of trust and grace. And you have to be able to allow feelings of self-doubt and worry and anxiety and, oh, what if I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of this, or I shouldn't invest in myself. All these things that will come up to try and stop you. You have to get through that part. So what I want to do is just ask Erica, because she is a star at this. If you don't mind, Erica, do you want to tell them how glad you are that you managed to get through the wait period from when you agreed to do it to when you started? Can you hear me, Erica? Let me see. Are you there? I see Erica's phone. Are you there, or are you on mute? Or Dr. Sherry, or if you want to say something. Let me see. Can you hear me, Erica? Oh, there you are, Sherry.
Yeah, for me, it was not so much the wait as when my initial discovery call was made. I was a little put off balance when the discovery call was not scheduled with you, but with Alicia. And there was the temptation to cancel it. And I just said, no, I'm going to trust that this is what I'm supposed to do. And then on the day of my call, it was you that called and everything worked out. So that was one of those things that I was certain that I had heard that I was to connect with you. And so in the wait, I got a little trepidation in my stomach, but then even right after I made the decision for the program, I felt the same way. And I just said, no, I'm going to push through. And even in your illustration earlier, I was like, yeah, going toward the city. I'm going to keep walking toward the city. And so, yeah, there is that thing that all the questions come to you, but just sort of ignore those and keep walking.
Yeah, yeah, because you're only going to get there if you walk the path. And this is the part that, this is why I really want to arm everybody like a ninja. Like, if you want that destination, and I know all of you want that destination, all of you want to get to this full inner peace, all of you want to get there, the happiness, the joy, all the things. There's only one way there, and that is to lose everything that's holding you back, everything that's keeping you from God, everything that is not serving you. You have to let it go. You have to be prepared to do the work and to be uncomfortable. And so now that you realize that there are two types of humans, there's the muggles and there's the magic ones. And the magic ones, the darkness has a vested interest in making sure you don't get on the path. And so because now you're aware of that, it's not to scare you, it's actually so you can laugh at it. So that, you know, so that whatever things are trying to be put in front of your path on your way, you just jump over them and you expect things to come in on your path. Let me have a look at my notes, because there's also something else which I was calling the pre-wait. And this is from when you guys first saw me until you get on the path. That's your pre-wait period. And there were people who have been with me for like a year or two, and they hadn't made the step to action. And then there's people that are like, oh, I saw you yesterday and I booked my discovery call on the same day, and I'm starting the program next week. There's no delay. So understand that in the pre-wait period, you're also going to get all these things. Well, maybe we should wait till September. Well, maybe we should wait till we've gone on vacation. Well, maybe we should, maybe this. Well, maybe I shouldn't join the community that she's invited me to come into. Maybe I don't need that. So for those that have done the program that are not in one of the ongoing communities, understand that is where you're going to get the support to stay on the path. This is not something you're supposed to have to do alone. But you see, we're all so spread out that it's hard for people to get the support. So what I've done is I started bringing everybody together into groups. So understand that there is support available. So let's jump into some questions, because I also want to talk a little bit about how the dark is managing to get people off path. And I also want to talk a little bit about, actually, no, and maybe I'll talk about these quickly, and everyone get your questions together, okay? Because this is like, so this is an opportunity to ask me questions, and I haven't done this before. But I want people to understand that we live in a place where there is light within and dark within. There is light outside and there's dark outside. And so when you do the self-healing work, what you do is you allow the light to be what guides you, and you allow the dark to have its food removed so it falls into a slumber. That's what the inner healing work is. Now, you can try and do it yourself the same way a lot of people, I say, you can try and cross the desert by yourself, but it's better with a guide. It's better with someone who can see the path at night and can walk you straight there, you know, in a straight line. The difference is that what happens is there is the dark inside, which is your ego talking to you, and then there's the higher self, which is from God talking to you. And you really want to just be listening to God FM, to higher self FM all the time and following that, because that's going to get you where you're supposed to be. But at the moment, while you still have active wounds, generational stuff, childhood wounds, things that have people that you've got unforgiveness against in your past, whether it's childhood or adulthood, that stuff is enabling the dark to have control, or at least have part control. And that means that even if you take 2 steps forward, you're taking a step back. You don't have to be doing that anymore. You can move forward straight in a line by clearing all of those wounds, okay? So I want people to understand that once you've won the battle inside, which is what I can help with, it doesn't mean that the battle outside is automatically won. But what it does mean is that when you're hearing these voices that are outside, because this is the problem, a lot of people are not aware of what the reality is that we're living in. Everyone talks about, oh, let's be real, and most of the time it's not real what they're talking about. The reality is that there's the stuff we can see, And then there's the stuff that's around us that we can't see, but we can feel it. Because everyone in here is an earth angel. You can feel this stuff. You know, a lot of the anxiety, depression, if it's not coming from within, because you've done your healing work, it may well actually be something that Dr. Sherry she calls it dream killers. But it's literally, you know, whether you're a new age person and you know all about telepathic aliens, or whether you're somebody who goes to Bible class and you know about the, you know, the demons and all the things, the reality is there's stuff in the ether that is trying to convince us off the path. So you have to understand how powerful you will be if you are on the path and you go towards peace and you do not allow yourself to be distracted. So I'm going to say one other thing that's a little bit off subject, because then I really want some questions, guys, okay? Because again, this is, and don't be shy about the questions. This is the first time I've ever made it available for people to just ask me about stuff, and I'll just have the answers because my angels are, you know, they'll give me the answers. But the other thing is, and again, this, I'm doing some sort of sensitive, advanced subjects with you guys, okay? Because you guys can handle it, and because someone's got to do this stuff. So I want to talk about something, you know, like horror movies. I don't watch them. I'm not into them at all. And I don't really like hanging out with people that are into them, because that tells me something's a bit wrong there, that they enjoy that stuff. But the reason I say this is that, you know, in the movies, and I know this just from, you know, from outside, not from watching them, but you know, they talk about possession. And it's like, they'll have like some little girl who head spins around or some weird shit like that. I want you guys to understand that possession, that's actually like something really rare, I think, if ever that happens. What is real is, can anyone tell me about a person in their life that acted really mean or really rude, said some things that were not very nice, and then they forgot they'd even done it? Raise your hand if you've known someone that was really acted out, acted awful. Yep, everyone. If you've known someone that's acted horrible and then they didn't even remember they did it, I'm telling you guys, that person was possessed. So possession is actually common. It's not rare. It's not some little girl turning green and her head spinning around. It's actually people allowing these dark energies to control them because their wounds are so strong. So the reason now it's making sense why this subject ties in with the rest of the teaching is that that's the polar opposite. So the polar opposite is somebody, because you guys are not as easy possessible, otherwise you wouldn't be here, because you would have been guided to not show up. Does that make sense? Or if you were in here, you'd be acting crazy, but you're not, okay? And that's the point. So I need you all to know that the reason I'm talking about possession, which seems like a really scary thing, is actually because if you have a lot of wounds, you are easily controlled by the dark energies. Whereas you guys, you actually don't have a lot of wounds. That's how they got you. That's how you got here to this lesson, because you have more control and dominion. Your higher self has a lot more power over you. So the thing is because your higher self has a lot more power over you, the few wounds you have are just going to be used to try and keep you off the path. Does that make sense? So now you're going to have a different perspective about people that are acting crazy out there, because I've already told you there is the light inside, dark inside. There's the light outside, the dark outside. There really are angels. There really are demons. It's a real thing. And when you know that, you see what my angels were telling me when I was receiving this download for this lesson was that denial of that reality is the real sickness. If you deny that there is light and dark within you, then that's a sickness in itself, because you are going to be like a bottle just being, you know, shoved around by the waves. You're not in control. But if you know that there's darkness within you, now you can watch your thoughts, watch your actions, and actually be like, hey, you know, when some people say, oh, I did that, but it wasn't me. Oh, I was really not myself. Hello. That means, again, darkness was guiding. You see, so if you can be aware that dark and light exists within you and dark and light exists outside of you, and you never lose touch with that reality, you stay conscious of it, now you have the ability to master it. But you see, that's where a lot of people are going wrong. They might be into this stuff for 5 minutes, but then when they're in a bad mood, they're like, oh, you think everything's light and dark. And it's like, well, yeah. And so this is the point. You have to be aware that there is a battle within you, which is why people say, oh, I'm procrastinating. Oh, I'm in two minds. Oh, I can't decide. Da, 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 da. It's because the light and dark's having a battle. And at the same time, the light and dark outside, the dark is battling to get you off the path. And it's far more interested in getting you off the path because you're powerful than it is about the muggles that aren't really here to do too much. They're just here to be placeholders. You guys are here to actually help the planet. You guys are here to help heal the planet, whether that's just being friends with a coach, whether that's just, you know, being supportive to her, whether it's doing a podcast, writing a book, whether it could be anything. It could be anything. You may meet some stranger on a beach and just change their life and they go on to save the planet. You know, who knows? The key thing is you all have a role that's important, but you also all have wounds because everyone who gets born down here has wounds, and those wounds are going to hurt you if you don't heal them. Just like swimming in a lake with slashes on your arms, all the stuff would get into your wounds. You have to be healed, and then you can go out and do things in the world. Now, it's really important that no one feels scared about the things I'm talking about. So I want you to all understand that you are all of light. You're all of love and light. You came down here to serve love and light is protecting you at all times. And the dark is like irritating bugs, which means we don't underestimate it, because irritating bugs could do some harm if there was enough of them. But at the same time, you need to understand your power and stay in your sovereignty to know that at any time you can call on God to protect you. And so this is why it's really important to get the self-sabotaging urges and the getting in your own way stuff under control, because once you get those things under control, you can then, like I said, live in peace. And then once you get to the destination, once you get to the castle, once you're in the walled castle where joy and peace and love and abundance and all the good things live, you can then stay there for a bit, because some of you might need a rest for a while, or you might say, right, let's go get some more people. And then you can come out and be like one of the coaches or one of the other people that does similar work to me, that starts bringing people from the grass and says, hey, you want to come? Okay, well, you have to step on the path and then I'll walk with you. Because that's the other thing. People want us to come and get you from the grass. And it's like, no, we can't. You have to get on the path with your walking shoes on, ready, and then we'll walk with you. And that's the difference. You see, people want to be like children. They want us to come and pick them up and carry them. We can't carry anyone, because we're just adults too, just like you guys. Does that make sense? So let's do some questions. And the questions can be anything to do with happiness, peace, toxic people, anything you guys want to ask. So does anyone have a question for me? And you can put up your hand, or if you want to just unmute and start talking, you can do that too. Because I think everyone's feeling a little bit shy. And it's funny because it's the first time I've offered to do Q&A. I'm like, come on, guys, fire some questions at me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I can. Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing, Steve?
Well, I don't know if you can see. I'm doing great. I'm working. I just wanted to say hello to everybody. I was out in the sunshine and couldn't see how to turn off the mute button, or turn off the mute button. So yeah, just loving what you got to say. It really resonates. As far as me, I've been listening to Charlie since he had about, what was it, 13,000 people or something. So I saw your original shows with him, and you are fantastic.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Do you have a question for me? I'm looking for some questions.
No, not really. You're just nailing it. Wow.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it.
That was it. And aloha from Hawaii.
Thank you very much. I tell you what I'll do, guys, is I will go back through and maybe you could just give me feedback on what I said, and that may trigger some questions as well. So, who's that?
This is Sequoia. How you doing?
Good, honey. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got my picture on. I'm kind of in the middle of cleaning up, so I'm not at my best. But I do have a question.
Yes, please.
Toxic people. So it's hard when you're. I know I've done some talks with you before, and we've talked about like maybe having toxic people, say, in your family or close to you, and you're like, it's easy to say, okay, if they're toxic, keep your distance, all that. But if it's your mother, father, you have narcissists in your family, how do you continue a healthy relationship knowing that they are not healed?
Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of us earth angels actually asked for toxic parents. It was part of the alarm clocks, because it was really important that you experienced enough pain that you would then actually be like, hey, I need this to stop. I'm going to heal now. And so we did actually ask for this. And so it's really, really common. I'm actually always surprised when I speak to an earth angel that has not got toxic parents of some description. I'm like, wow, okay. It happens occasionally. So the answer is, in my program, we teach something called angel pennies. And if you guys want to grab a pen and paper, I will tell you a little bit about how it works. Now, again, this on its own is not going to do everything, but as part of the program, it works perfectly. So this is the best I can do until you guys have done the program. Okay. So with the angel pennies, what happens is you picture somebody that you do not want to release from your life, but you know that they bring down your frequency, you know that they're negative, you know they're toxic. So everyone pick that person right now, okay? Write down their name and write down your relationship to them. And what I want you to do is I want you to say out loud to yourself, I need nothing from this person. Don't get scared, because I'm not telling you to cut them off. Don't be scared, just trust me. So you say, I do not have any expectations. I do not need money from this person. I do not need reassurance from this person. I do not need encouragement from this person. I do not need approval from this person. You release all the things that you were needing from them. Okay, so first of all, you have to release everything. So you don't need anything from them. This is an important part. If you don't do this thoroughly, the next part's not going to work. So you have to have no expectations of needing anything. If they never say or do anything more for you forever, you don't need them to iron your socks. You don't need them to cook you meals. You don't need them to drop your son off at school. You don't need them to do anything. Once you've reached the point where you don't need anything from them, this is where the nice part comes in. Now we do something called angel pennies. I want you to write down what this person's interested in. They might be interested in fish. They might be interested in golf. They might be interested in playing soccer. They might be interested in knitting. They might be interested in cooking pasta. Whatever it is they're into. They might just like to talk about their bad knees. That they really just might want to talk about their bad knees and their migraines. Whatever it is that they like to talk about, write that down. Now, from now on, whenever you have contact with this person, you are just to ask them about that subject. And you are to encourage them to speak. And the more words they say, you get an angel penny for every word they say. And then when they ask you something about yourself, you do not, it's like when they say anything you say can and will be used against you. You do not give them any weaknesses. If you've just lost your job, you tell them your work's going great. If you have a headache, you tell them you're feeling wonderful. Why do you lie? Because you do not put things in the hands of toxic people, because they will break them. Okay, so you go to somebody uplifting or somebody reliable for those issues that you are vulnerable in. But you do not take your vulnerabilities to someone who you've listed as being toxic. That would be silly, wouldn't it? Now, what happens is whatever that subject is, you just talk to them about that subject. And whenever they ask about you, you just say, it's great. And then, so how were the shrimps that you cooked? Oh, whatever it is they want to talk about, you just get them to talk about it. Now, here's the wonderful thing about this. And this is why God gave me this particular piece of work to add into my program. And that is that after doing this, the person will feel like your relationship is better than it's ever been. They'll be like, oh, me and my daughter are so close now. Me and my auntie are so close now. Me and my grandmother are so close. Well, whoever it is, you know, oh, me and my stepfather get on great now because I just sit there and talk to him about hockey. We just talk about hockey. That's all we do. And that's the point. You have chosen that you will not lose this person. So most toxic people, we have another way in the program where we help you identify who is toxic and who you need to move away from. But if you've identified them as toxic, but you cannot release them, now you have to use this technique. Now, here's where it can go wrong. And that is, you'll be doing so well that you're teaching them, you're talking to them, and you're basically just talking about whatever it is that they want to talk about. And they're really enjoying it. And then suddenly you feel like, oh my gosh, this is a relationship I've always wanted with them. And it's so warm and cuddly and nice. And so you start letting your vulnerabilities out. Oh, well, I'm really worried about my job. And oh, I'm really worried about my health. Oh, and then straight away, they're going to go straight back in and start pressing on the wounds. This is why you mustn't do that. When you make that decision that you no longer need anything from this person, you have to honor it. You have to take your vulnerabilities to someone that is a safe place for your vulnerabilities. This toxic person, you've just decided to keep them. And as a beautiful result, they think your relationship's better than ever. But in reality, there are limitations to this relationship, and you will need to find somebody else that can fulfill your needs. Because what you're doing is fulfilling their needs, not fulfilling your own. So how do you keep a toxic person in your life? You fulfill their need for company, for conversation, but you do not allow yourself to be hurt through this. And then the other thing is to also know that you're in control of the timing. You know, you can walk upstairs, you can get in your car and leave. Do not allow someone to have the control over your time. If they are toxic, you have to give them the intense, positive, lovely angel pennies time, and then you leave. Or then you go upstairs. Or, oh, now I have to do my homework. Oh, now I have to go and do my studying. Whatever it is. Oh, now I have to go talk to my best friend. So I think that will help, because many, many people have this situation. And if you can put this into practice, you will find it helps. But can you see how there were rules to this? Everyone wants it to be simple. Oh, well, just be nice. Oh, well, just be mean. Oh, well, just put down a boundary. No, you have to identify them as toxic, choose that you're not prepared to let them go. You have to identify what it is that they enjoy talking about. You have to ensure that you no longer have any expectations of this person at all. You're not being like, oh, well, secretly I want them to, like, you know, lend me their lipstick and help me get ready when I'm going on dates. You can't have any things. There can't be any things that you need. Have someone else to bring that, to provide that. And what you'll find is, as you put this person in this clear, sparkly box that keeps you safe from them, but they think you're closer than ever, it will allow you space to bring in more high frequency friends, because this person's energy is not all over you and you're clean. Do you see what I'm saying? So, because your thing is when this person is vomiting their toxic stuff all over you, you're walking around with all their shit on you. And then your new friends are not attracted to be your friend because they can just smell the vomit on you from the toxic person. Whereas when you put this person in this nice, clear, acrylic with gold sparkly bits box, and yet they're having more conversation with you than ever, they're getting more ear time where you're just listening, they're getting more attention than ever, they love it. And this poor wounded person that is toxic means that they have wounds that will probably be too big for them to ever heal in this lifetime. Don't they deserve a bit of attention? So let's let them have some attention. Let's let them feel loved and listened to and heard. But let's stop them vomiting their stuff all over us by not letting the subject come back to us and our weaknesses and our vulnerabilities. Does that make sense? Is that good, Sequoia?
Oh my God. Yeah, I have my notes. Yeah, thank you for that. That was beyond on point. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And you haven't done the program yet, have you, Sequoia?
No, I'm one of those people who met you. And
no,
then
I know when we met, but you know what? We had a meeting just yesterday for people. There's a new group we're doing as well. So there's options for people. There's different options. So just drop me a text and I'll let you know about it. But
will do.
But you see, it's really important everyone keeps an eye on their emails, because we had the severe financial difficulty on Saturday. We're going to do another one next month. And then today's the advanced class. I'm going to do a beginner's class soon too. So there's all these different classes going on for different people. But the main thing is if you've done the program, you'll want to see about the different community groups that we have. And if you've not done the program yet, what are you waiting for? Basically, because you're in the pre-wait and something's keeping you. And we have options for people that are in a severe financial difficult situation, and we have options, different levels. Obviously, if you get to work with my CEO, Alicia Bravo, that's the game changer for everybody, which is who Dr. Sherry and my diamond client as well, Erica, they worked with Alicia. But the key thing here is make sure you do something. Do not allow your ego, do not allow the dark to give you a reason to delay. Oh, well, I'll just look at it again in 3 months. Because in 3 months, you could have been healed. You see? And so it's like, I need everyone to understand that ego is very clever. It has the same IQ as you, and you're all very bright people. And so what happens is your ego, if it can get you to delay, whether it's delay booking a free call or delay starting the program, maybe you even did a discovery call, agreed to do it, and then you just got completely panicked and couldn't think straight, and your doubts just became too much for you. When that happens, you're being pulled off your path. So if you can be really knowledgeable that something's trying to pull you off your path, and nothing would be trying to pull you off it if it wasn't the right path. You see? And that's the point. That's the point. It's like I was in an Uber today and I was explaining that I go to a cranial sacral lady, and there's always so much trouble whenever I go there. I've had some of the most awful experiences with Uber drivers trying to get to this appointment. I'm late sometimes. I've had all sorts of things happen. And I said to the driver today, she was a good girl. I got in the car, she had worship music playing and a Bible in the back seat. I was like, okay. I was like, my angels have prepared me for the right driver to get me there today. And she was lovely. But when I explained to her that this resistance happens for me to go to this appointment, she was like, well, maybe something's trying to tell you something. I was like, oh yeah, it's telling me that it's bloody important that I get to this appointment, because that's what the resistance is, to try and take me off that path. So if you can imagine, the path for me is making sure I go to see this lady. So things happen to try and get in the way. Now, if I responded like a muggle, I'd be like, oh, it's too difficult to get to the appointments, I'm just not going to go. No, that's not how we do things around here, guys. So if you can be prepared for resistance, it's nowhere near as scary because you're prepared for it. So Angel, did you have anything you wanted to say after everything I've said, or any thoughts on what I've just been talking about? And hopefully your sound will be okay.
No, like the question, it was just bang on, like she said, it was bang on. I have
You enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
Yes, I found it very helpful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And like I said, all you earth angels have chosen some toxic people to be in your lives as part of the journey. When you do the program, we teach you how, at the end of the program, we teach you why those people, why you chose them. And it makes a difference when you can understand why you chose them. But it's like, I can only do so much at once, because if you do it out of order, then the program doesn't work. Everything has to be in the correct order. I see some stuff in the chat. Let me have a look. So Laurie left by mistake. I thought my so-called friends were bipolar. Yeah, I mean, bipolar is a way of saying someone has two personalities. The difference is that we know that angels and demons are real. And we know light and dark is real. Light and dark is within, and light and dark is outside. So if we can get the light and dark inside under control, we have a lot more power to walk our path in this reality that we live in now. And if you're in denial of the light and dark within, or denial of the light and dark outside, it basically can have its way with you all the time. And this is the reality. So we have to be able to make the conscious decision. Someone else says, Amelia, I would really like to know what is the process for becoming a coach. I believe I'm meant to become a coach and truly can help others in your program. Absolutely, Lisa. So we'll just have a chat afterwards if you like, Lisa. The thing is typically what happens, the way to becoming a coach with us is you go in and do the program with Alicia. So you have the highest level training, and then you go in and you do coach, and you sign up with us for a year program, which is the community program, where you meet a lot of women that are also on the path with you. And then as part of the 1 year program, you get free coaches training. So that's the typical way that we do it. But Lisa, do you have me on Instagram? Because you can just send me a DM on Instagram, or if you have my phone number, you can text me and we can figure it out. Laurie Winchester has a question about the toxic person. Yes, Laurie, go ahead.
I was wondering about, like, if their thing was to immediately go to gossiping about everybody. Because I can't stand that, but I don't know what to do about it with this person. Because
Okay.
I've been doing what you're talking about. I try to redirect into something that they enjoy talking about. I've actually been doing that without knowing to do that.
So you were doing the right thing. Here's what was missing. You still need something from them. You haven't done the part of releasing. So you still want to enjoy the conversation. You still want to have good company out of this. You still, which I understand. But if this
I don't like to do the gossiping.
Oh, I
They
get it.
start gossiping.
I get it.
So I don't know. I just listen to them gossip and I'm just like, you know, I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to explain. So we'll get to the gossip part first. So we'll get to the gossip part second, okay, which is what she talks about and what she enjoys talking about. We'll get to that next. But let's talk about you first, because remember, we can't heal her, but we can heal you, okay? So within you, you were already doing a piece of this, but it only works with all the pieces. It's like a clock. You know, if you have a clock cut into three, if a clock is cut into 4 pieces, you're only going to be able to tell the time when the things are here. So we need all the pieces to make this work. So what I mean by that is, you know, when you hang out with a friend, or even when you choose a partner, you need it to be someone that you enjoy their company and you enjoy the conversation. Okay, this is just a normal human need. We choose our friends and our partners based upon enjoying their company. So when I say, Laurie, you still want to enjoy this person's company, I'm telling you that's where we're going wrong. So what that means is, when we're releasing anything that we need from this person, like we need their approval, we need to enjoy the conversation, we still need something. So what we need to do is get rid of all the toxic people. But if we decide we have to keep one, now we mustn't need anything from them. So what that means is, if they just like to gossip about other people and say all sorts of things that are really not very nice, you just sit there and nod, because your job is to collect angel pennies. Your job is to get them to talk, so that afterwards this person feels like their relationship with you is better than ever. You let them just talk. You can't dictate what they're going to talk about. They get to talk about whatever they want to talk about. You don't need anything from the conversation. You're just allowing them to have this time of being heard and feeling heard. So you might not enjoy it, but you're not choosing to enjoy this person. You're choosing to keep this person. So what I would recommend is keep it to 20 minutes or within a 2-hour visit. If it's someone who lives far away, let them do their thing. And then make sure you book in some time with someone that you really enjoy, and then have some time with someone where you get to have an enjoyable conversation, where you're heard and they're heard, and they talk about positive, uplifting things, and they talk about constructive things, and they're complimentary and they're kind. Make sure you book some time with someone who is the polar opposite. But with this person, we're still trying to change them if we don't just work with what it is they want to talk about, which is why I said some people just want to talk about their achy knees. Well, if that's what they want to talk about, that's what they want to talk about. We can't control them. So yeah, how are your knees doing? And they don't even want solutions. They want to complain. So he's, oh, okay, oh, they're hurting. Oh, okay, did they hurt last night? Oh, okay, they hurting now. Oh, okay. Let them talk about what they want to talk about. So let me give you a silly example. Let's imagine they like talking about teddy bears, okay? You might not like talking about teddy bears. You might even be scared of teddy bears. But if you're keeping this person in your life, then it's your job to give them time to talk about teddy bears because that's what they enjoy talking about. Does that make sense, Laurie?
Yes, but is it, if she starts gossiping, do I ask questions, like,
You just nod
or
and
let her just talk, whatever the hell she wants to
it
say?
doesn't matter how long she's talking, because your job is to collect the pennies for every word that's said. It doesn't matter what she's talking about.
Okay.
She could actually be saying horrible things, but you've chosen to keep her. That was your choice. Now you just give her talk time so that she can enjoy the relationship with you. Because later on, when you finish your healing, you'll realize that this person signed up for a pretty rough lifetime, and they probably did it to help you because you needed the alarm clocks, because you needed the pain, because this person had to inflict the pain so that you would then maybe come and find someone like myself and get the healing finished. And in which case they actually volunteered to help you. And so we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
Got a couple of them.
yeah, so we don't get to control the subject, and the chances are the subject will not be something we enjoy. They might want to talk about duck shooting. They might want to talk about building ant nests. They might want to talk, but you chose to keep them. So your job is to let them talk and make sure they come away from the interaction feeling seen and heard and understood. And you come away with a big bag of angel pennies, and then you book in with one of your friends so you can have an enjoyable conversation.
Thank you very much.
No problem, Laurie. Okay, so is everything that I think that isn't coming from love, ego, anything I focus on outside of ego? What about being taken hostage? So Annette, are you about to start the program? I feel like I've seen your name. Are you?
Yes.
When do you
Yes.
start?
Yes, I am.
When do you start?
2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So
In 2 weeks.
So between now and then, you're just in the wait period, and you just have to hang in there, because it's not going to, once you start the program, you will be educated fully. The problem is I try not to educate too much about the ego, because if you educate about the ego and you don't strip it of its food, you're actually making it more powerful and giving it more language and more understanding. Whereas when you start in your first lesson on the first day, you will have all the education and will start stripping it at the same time and start starving it. And that's how it needs to be done. But let me see if there's any way I can answer your questions. There's everything I think. So basically, what you have to understand is if you still have unforgiveness against anyone who ever upset, irritated you or annoyed you or really hurt you, or they could have just annoyed you, if you still have unforgiveness, which is not neutrality, some people are like, oh, I just feel neutral. No, if you don't feel love towards everyone that's ever done horrible stuff to you or annoying stuff to you, if you don't feel love for them, then your ego is using that as food so it can project images into your mind, so that when you see those images, your frequency comes down, it gets fed. If you feel a negative emotion, your ego gets fed. So we take all of the ego's food away, so now it's not getting fed, so it falls asleep, and now you just hear the higher self. And because you just hear the higher self, you have what we call inner peace and clarity, and serenity, because now it doesn't have any food. And so now you're naturally in that state. Okay, so Gazelle was saying, if you've done the program, what else can you do to continue your healing so you can help self and others? So what you can do is, we are setting up communities. So there is the very special community that Alicia does, but there is also one called the Inner Circle, Sister Circle, that Jessamine is going to be teaching. And so we're going to be launching that soon. So Giselle, you could be part of the Super Sister Circle. And as we build that out, it will become more of a support network for women in general. So I would suggest Jessamine, who runs Empress Evolution for me, if you reach out to Jessamine, and who taught you the program? Was it Eunice that taught you the program?
Yeah, it was Unisa who taught me the program.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So what I would say is just reach out to Jessamine and let her know, because what we're doing is we're getting ready to launch that one. So that's one of the things that you can do, to just be around the other women that want to help others.
Is that on Instagram, the Empress Evolution one?
Yes. You can just reach out to Jessamine and let her know that you want to be part of the, you can be one of the founding members. We already had a meeting the other day. You can be one of the founding members of the Soul Sister Circle. So the Super Sister Circle. So you just message her and let her know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So does anyone else have any questions? You can drop them in the chat, or you can raise your hand on here, or you can raise your hand in real life if I can see you, because I may not be able to see you because I don't have all the windows at once. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll get ready to close up. I'll just do a round robin again. And if anyone just wants to let me know what they thought of what we talked about today, if it helped, that kind of thing. So you told me how to say your name. Hold on. Emia. Oh, I'm saying it wrong again. Emia, E-M-Y-R.
Yes, it's a Welsh name, it is. Yes, I have a question. I was in a situation 6 years ago where my partner walked out on me under very deceptive circumstances. I've never held a grudge towards her because there's other external circumstances that sort of led to that. But to me, it didn't upset me at the time because I knew that she'd do me a favor by walking out on me. So I just want to be able to clear up the situation, really.
Yeah, so rejection is often protection. And the sooner you can come to that realization, the more healing it is, because sometimes it takes people a long time. At the same time, yes, doing really deep forgiveness work, whether you try it on your own or if you want to come in and do the program, we do take men. You just have to come in as a one-to-one. But doing really deep forgiveness into this situation so that it's all cleared, because you need to be able to see the blessing in it. And, you know, the deeper the pain, the harder it can be to see the blessing sometimes, and to just clear out everything, because that way then you can, you know, you're not living in the past anymore and things aren't reminding you of certain things.
No, well, things, I still haven't sort of terminated the relationship sort of formally. That's something I actually want to do this year.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm actually working on another program at the moment, which is also to do with with spiritual development, really. And I want to finish up before I do the program with you, really.
Sure. How much longer do you have left on the one you're doing?
I just started week 5 of 10.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Like I said, you can always drop me a message on Instagram if you like, but otherwise, yes, you know.
I don't use Instagram.
Okay, well, you have the email. You can drop me.
Yeah, I got your email. That's fine. That is.
Yeah. So the thing is like I said, you know, if you're midway in something, you said 5th week of 10, so you'll be finished in 5 weeks. Yeah. So you could look into it
6
then.
weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
You can look into it then and see how you feel. Quite often people have done other programs and things before they come to us, because it's actually getting you ready for the big work. We're the big work. Once you've done us, there isn't really anywhere else to go, because you've done all of it at that point.
Yeah, this is actually concerning sort of law for mankind, which is presenting yourself as a man or a woman in law.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And I've got a couple of other issues with authorities that I want to clear up as well, which is why I'm doing that.
Okay,
getting
perfect.
that knowledge.
Well, finish what you're doing on the path you're on, finish that, and then you can always circle around and look into it. But yes, in the meantime, you could just become very conscious of the fact that these wounds will be used against you until they're cleared. And so you can work on really like building up gratitude towards anyone. Write down a list of everyone who hurt you and start building up a huge amount of gratitude towards them, because it will free you, and you don't have to tell them.
No, there's one thing I do. One thing I don't do is hold grudges against people, because I know that will do me more harm than good.
Yes. So here's the thing. Sometimes it's not as big as a grudge. Sometimes it's just a little bit of slime that's left. Sometimes we have to just go in and really clear it. Sometimes it's, sometimes people say, oh, that's neutral. Oh, I've already worked on that. that's when you want to go in really deep, and that's what we do. So I would say, like I said, you can work on it on your own for now, but we have a plan, and then in 5 weeks you can come back round. But with forgiveness, the thing to remember is forgiveness does not mean what they did was okay. It does not mean that you're letting them off the hook. It does not mean that you're letting them know that they're forgiven, and it does not mean you have to reconnect with them. So forgiveness has been very misunderstood, and that's because when forgiveness as a weapon is used correctly, it can free you completely. And so a lot of that's, sorry?
What I've tried to do is give her the opportunity to come out and tell me the truth about her, about the circumstances in which she left, but she hasn't done that.
Yeah, so like I said, I
know a lot more than she knows I know.
Yeah, but you see,
I know.
So here's the thing with this, what we do is if we're holding on to something we need from them, then they still have the power. Let's not need anything. But
I don't need anything. I don't need anything.
But you know, when you're
make
giving
that
them,
break very quickly.
Sure, when you're giving them the opportunity to do something, you still have there's an expectation there. But we're not going to do coaching now. Coaching happens in the program. But what I'm saying is that when we have an expectation of, or where there's something we want, or something, you know, we're giving them the opportunity, we're still letting them have power. So what we need is needing nothing. Like, I don't need the truth. I don't need her to know what I think. I don't need her to know what I don't think. I don't need anything.
Well, I'm not expecting anything from her anyway. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I will leave you to Alicia because she coaches the men. That's what she specifically does. But I hope everything else that we talked about today helped. But I would say with this, like I said, these things need someone to look at it one-on-one when it comes into individual situations. Someone needs to be able to eyeball it and look at it with you and process you through it. Because here's the thing, it's a little bit of help isn't enough. You need the thorough thing where you go all the way in, dissect it, clean it up, and we're done, you know? But yes.
No, your description about the journey, that makes a lot of sense to me because I have a lot of experience traveling. Mm-hmm. I actually spent 3 years cycling home from New Zealand to Wales by bicycle, so I know what a journey is like.
Very nice, very nice. Well, this is it. Journeys are important. You can't be teleported these days, you know?
No.
So it was lovely talking
takes the interest out of the journey, that would, anyway.
Yes. The thing is, you can enjoy the journey. There just might be some rain and some cold weather and things, but we have to stop having these expectations of being teleported or carried like a baby. We have to be able to go through the rough stuff to get the result.
You can mitigate the rough stuff. We also get some wonderful stuff within the journey as well.
Exactly. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Emery. And
no, Emma, not Emery.
Emma, I told you, I keep saying it wrong. Emma, pleasure to meet you.
Well, call me Emu, as my friend, some of my friends do.
Bless you. All good. Well, thank you very much. I'll go on to the rest of the guys because we have a lot of people in here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Amelia.
You. Annette, darling, do you have any thoughts on what we've been talking about?
Oh, I can identify with everything you shared. It was great. More tools.
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Laurie Twos. We have two Lauries in here today. Laurie Twos. Did you enjoy what we talked about?
Oh yeah, I did. I'm just not ready to share anything of my personal life. So.
Oh no, and I don't actually need anyone to actually for now. That's not really what we need to be doing. But more if you have a question, that's all, or just feedback on what we talked about.
Not at this time, no.
Okay. No worries. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I see that one of my other clients has arrived. So it's lovely to see her. If we just want to come over to Deborah quickly and say hi. She is actually not only a client, but she's also now trained as a coach. Hi, Deb. Lovely to see you.
Hi, guys. Sorry I missed it. I was actually coaching.
Yes, and see, Deb is the epitome of happy, as you can tell. This lady just giggles all day long. She is wonderful. So
it's all about the love. It's all about the love.
Yes. How did your coaching session go?
Magnificent. It's just always bringing everybody back to it's not outside of you, it's inside of you, and it's all about the love.
Yeah.
So don't point that way, point this way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you were able to come in for a minute, because everyone got to see Erica and Sherry and hear from Sherry for a minute. But it's lovely to have you, Deb. I appreciate it. Thank
Love you guys.
Thank you. So I'm going just along the line. Stan, did you have anything to say? Or did you enjoy what we talked about? Oh, not sure if it's working his end. It's on mute at the moment. We'll go to Colleen. Colleen, darling, how did you find everything we talked about?
Very informative, actually. Just a nice, different way of presenting it, and very helpful. Yeah, very enjoyable. So I've taken a lot of notes and I'm going to learn from this. That's great.
Excellent, excellent. And have you done the program already?
No, I haven't. I'm new to all of this. I just was introduced to Charlie just a little while ago, and you just happened to be one of the guests that were on.
Oh, so, perfect. Oh, well, I'm so glad to have you, Colleen, and feel free just to book the call where you can have a chat with me or Alicia. And if you, when you fill in the discovery call, there's like this survey questions. If you just put in there that you were in this class, I'll try and do your call myself so I can talk with you directly. So you're basically just going to get like a one-to-one chat with me, and we can chat a little bit more then as well.
That's great. Thank you.
So you have a great aura about you. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but she's got a very bright aura around her. You're a very, very nice lady, I can tell.
Oh, thanks. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Colleen. Let's see who else. Lamore, I know you came in halfway through, but did you enjoy what we've been talking about, my darling?
I did. I haven't received my call yet. I put my information in, but I didn't receive the call. So I'm just waiting for my call.
So when is your call booked for?
It was never booked. I just submitted my information.
Oh, I'll talk you through it, darling. We'll speak on the phone afterwards, because you actually go in and you choose a date and time. You actually
okay. All right.
Yeah, you'll see, or you can click on your phone afterwards. Just go to the link in my bio on Instagram and you actually choose a date and time for your call. So then it's booked, and then so you'll actually be booked in. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that was just because of the way we talked about it. But yeah, that's what you do, my darling.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So let's see who else we have here. Steve. Steve, did you enjoy what we chatted about? See if he unmutes for a second. Okay. Mayfer, M-A-F-E-R, Mayfer.
Hi. Yes, I enjoy everything you have said. I have a question. Sometimes we have wounds we are not aware of, okay? So how can we heal them?
So this is why, all of our clients have done work on themselves before they come in. And that's what prepared you for the really tough work. The way that my program works is it's like a sieve. It's like a catch-all. We catch everything. We catch all of the areas. And so especially if you work, have you done the program yet, darling?
I have started, but I have not yet finished yet.
Okay, you're still in it. So the thing is that it's got a catch-all to it. So if you're working with a one-to-one coach, obviously this is why if people can afford to work with Alicia, it's the best, because she's like Inspector Gadget. She will find everything. And now we've got the other ladies that are trained to do, to do this work too. So it's like literally the more experienced the coach, the more they can find this, to find the hidden wounds. So that's basically the way I can explain it. But the key thing here is to start. And like you said, you started, you're in the program. So just trust the process for now, because the questions we ask and the way that we move through the process of the program, it is designed to catch everything. And even down to the fact that, on the forgiveness list, we add mother, father, key partners, and romantic relationships, because a lot of people may have things there that they don't think they have until they look into it deeper, and then they're like, oh, I didn't realize I had a problem there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yeah, so trust the process. You're doing the right thing. You're moving through, and you're moving through, and you will see. We do catch it all, as long as you're honest with yourself. And again, when you can work with a one-to-one coach, that does make a big difference. It really does, because then you have someone literally like a sniffer dog sniffing to find the food that your ego is trying to hide, because the ego likes to hide cheeseburgers under the rug, you see. And so it's really, really important that you have someone like sniffer dog finding the things that your ego is trying to hide. So does that answer your question, darling?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, let's see who else we have here. So Marie, darling, did you enjoy what we talked about? I think it's on mute for a minute. Marie? Oh, maybe she's not available. Marie's on mute. She was on the camera earlier, but Marie, did you want to say something, darling?
You caught me. I just walked out of the room. I'm back. No, I've enjoyed listening. I don't really have a comment right now.
But you enjoyed what we talked about?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And also, just like Colleen, Marie, if you haven't booked in a call, if you just mention that you were in here when you book your call, I'll attempt to make sure I do the call with you personally. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Ashley.
Hi.
Hi. Did you enjoy
Yes.
what we were talking about?
Actually, I would like to express my appreciation to Sequoia for bringing up the subject she brought up, because I am dealing with that situation currently at my home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was very helpful for me. So I appreciate that. You and I have spoken. We were together quite some time ago. And I resonated with what you spoke about when we talked, and am going to be working with Alicia in a couple of weeks, and I'm very looking forward to that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, congratulations. So this is exciting times. And the thing is, when you do this work, your whole life changes, because you've shed all of that baggage. It's like trying to be a marathon runner, trying to carry a suitcase on your head. You know, it's like when you've got rid of all that, you're a lot lighter. And so it really is one of those things that everybody that does the work now, even when they're, you know, in their 70s or 80s, they'll go back and say, that was really helpful. I'm so glad I did that. So proud of you, Ashley.
Thank you. And I am looking forward to a brighter future ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lots of love, darling. So I have someone here called Ulrike Benner. I hadn't spoken with you before. Hello. Oh, there you are. Hello, gorgeous girl.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
I came in later. I mean, later than everybody, so I didn't really hear everything, but I hope there is a replay.
Yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my YouTube, so it will be available. I'll pop it up tomorrow, so that way everyone can have
Thank you.
playback. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't done this call. Whatever I heard today, it's very interesting. Some of things I know. I mean, with the angel pennies, I don't, and
Yeah.
so that's. Although I didn't quite hear how do you say, if these angel. I have them all in my. Where am I going to store them?
Oh, the angel pennies. You just put them in big bags and pop them in the bank. It's angel.
Okay, good.
Credit.
All right.
It's angel credit. So because you're being a blessing to somebody, and that person is in pain, and you are soothing them and letting them be seen and heard. And if you don't enjoy talking to them, can you imagine how everyone else feels as well? So it's such a blessing to be able to let that person feel heard, even if they're talking about annoying things.
Okay.
or boring things. But I say to people, a good way to practice listening is to listen to people you don't want to talk to, because that way, when you're talking to the people you do want to talk to, you're an even better listener. Have you done the program? And how do I say your name? Ulrike?
Ulrike, or you can say Uli. Uli, that's easier.
And where are you, Ulrike?
I'm on Salt Spring Island, British Columbia.
Oh, wow. Very exciting, very exciting. Have you done the program with us yet, or have you had a...
No, I haven't. No, okay. I've seen you with Charlie Ward. That's how I know about you.
Wonderful. Well, it's lovely to have you. And again, you're welcome to
Thank you.
call, and I will recognize your name because you have an unusual name. But if you just write that you were in this class, and I can do the call with you as well, if you like.
Oh, well, thank you
And I'll
very
sit
much.
with you direct.
Okay,
Because
very
you see,
good.
it's normally the call is with Alicia. Sometimes it's with me. But when
Yeah.
I've seen women in person and I can see their aura and things, then I can say, okay, I'm happy to chat with you direct.
Okay, good, great. Thank you very
Perfect. Well,
much.
thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laurie Winchester, did you want to say hi? And let me know what you thought.
Hello. I thought this was very informative, very interesting. And I actually have a 45-minute discovery with you Wednesday.
Okay, perfect. Oh, well, there we are. And I will be doing it Wednesday because it may say that Alicia's doing the call, but it will actually be me Wednesday because I told her I would do it. So
Okay.
I will speak to you Wednesday, Laurie.
Great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I'm just seeing who else we have left. So Erica, darling, did you just want to say anything before you go or before we end? Is Erica there? Nope, not sure if Erica's there. Erica has 2 young daughters, so she may be taking care of them for a second. Lisa Love. Lisa Love, what did you think?
Hello, hi. Thank you so much. Yeah, I also just want everyone to know that the program made a huge difference in my life, and it was the catalyst for me getting a divorce from my very 3D toxic husband. And I moved to Miami. I have found community that is all conscious and 5D. And I, for the first time, feel that I'm stepping into my power. So it's all because of the program and that support, and just really taking the risk of getting out of the comfort zone. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you so much for my new life.
Thank you. That's so amazing. Maybe you could drop Alicia a text as well and see about being in Golden Goddesses. It would be nice to have you in there with the other girls. Maybe that would be a fit for you now.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, just drop her a text, and you also you have my email as well, but you could drop Alicia a text and talk about it as well, because you'd actually be in the group with Erica, my diamond, so that would be really, really nice. Because I can feel the glow on you. You've got the glow happening, haven't you, darling?
Yes, I mean, it's all energy, you know what I mean? When we clear the wounds, we heal the wounds. I'm actually able to speak to my mother, who's a psychopath. You know, she is toxic to the extreme, and I can actually be in the same room, and I give her 1 hour and let her just talk the entire time, and I give her a hug and I say, I love you, Mom. And I don't feel drained for the first time in my life. It's very empowering.
Oh, it's going to make me cry. It's so amazing when you could just see the change that's happened for people, and this stuff really works. You know, it's one thing for me to say it, but then, you know, when you guys can see it, you know, with your own eyes, it's amazing. So thank you so much, darling. I really appreciate it, Lisa. So yes, drop me a message on Instagram, and we'll chat about things further.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you, darling. Okay, so has everybody said something? Sequoia, did you want to say something else, darling?
No, that was it. Thank you.
No problem, but you enjoyed what we talked about.
Oh gosh, yes, definitely. You were dropping, you know, jewel after jewel, gem after gem. So I very much so appreciate it.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, so I just want to check if there's anybody that didn't get to speak that wants to say something, just unmute and start talking, because I think that's everybody. And then what I will do is I will get this uploaded onto my YouTube as well. So if anyone wants to speak that hasn't spoken, go ahead right now. Okay, I think that's everybody done. So, so just to clear things up for everybody, so we do take male clients. Male clients would need to book in with Alicia. Anyone that hasn't done a discovery call, you just go to amelialoveacademy.com, or you click the link in the bio on my Instagram. My Instagram is Amelia Happiness Guru. You can book a 15-minute call or a 45-minute call. If you're interested in working with a coach, I suggest booking a 45-minute call. If you're in severe financial difficulty, I suggest booking a 15-minute call, because we have a different route that we put you guys in. And what else? I think that's the main things, because once you have your call, if you want to just mention that you were in this class, and then, like I said, I will attempt to do your calls myself personally. So that way we, not only did we get the Q&A time together now, we'll actually get some time one-to-one to talk a bit more as well. And so does anyone have any other questions before we go? Time has flown. We've been in here for like an hour and 40 minutes. Anyone else? Great staying power, guys. You did really well. You did really well. So in the meantime as well, there is a 1-hour free training that when you book your free call, you can watch the 1-hour free training that's in there as well. So I think that's everything. And there's also a free affirmation track if you want to play that. For the guys, I recommend downloading the affirmation track and then using it as inspiration, writing your own, recording it in your own voice and playing it back each day. Okay, so whereas the women, you can use the one that we already have, but for men, I suggest using it as inspiration and then writing your own one and recording it. Okay, well, it's been a pleasure, guys. And I really, really appreciate all of you being here. Let me just go back into gallery view for a minute so I can see everybody all on one page. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been an honor. And I just love that there's, you know, we've had such a lovely community feel amongst all of these people from all over the world today. So it's been beautiful. So thank you, guys. I love you, I love you, I love you. Feel free to email me or drop me messages on Instagram, and I will see you all soon. Okay, guys, lots of love.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.